Hello and welcome back to part 7 part 7. Yeah. Of this playthrough of 428 Shibuya Scramble. I am here with Yoshi.
What's up, folks?
And we're going to go on more adventures. We have managed to get a video out this week. I assume there's not going to be any problems uploading this tonight. Do you remember what happened last time, Yoshi?
Let's see. Not really. Okay, there was stuff. Minorikawa.
Okay, we did Minorikawa. Yeah, I actually forgot to review. Now that I said that.
He's still trying to get the paper out on time.
Yeah.
And he's having issues with his shy understudy.
Yeah, and he hung out at a restaurant most of the time, right?
Oh yeah, and he kept trying to smoke, and they were like, "Yeah, you can't do that." So he had to go to Lautrec, and then he met that our a-hole future not stepfather. What's it called? Father-in-law.
Yeah, father-in-law. Stepfather.
And yeah, there's like the beeping thing. Yeah, we spent a lot of time with Minorikawa last time, huh?
I think we also did some Tama.
Chicken girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
He like wanted to start a company with us, and we were like, no, you're way too dumb to ever start a company with.
We ran away from a cockroach that would have killed Hachi's line.
Oh yeah. It would have killed the girl, right?
Yeah. Then we went to pick up the burning hammer from the back, and we found it was gone, so we went after it, looking for it, and we hit a keep out. Achi's line ended with the cockroach, so Achi's open. So yeah.
Hitomi, that's her name. I just remembered.
Hitomi.
It killed Hitomi. Hitomi died to a cockroach.
So Minorikawa's at a bad end. Tama's at a keep out. So we could go Osawa, Achi, or Kano.
Osawa's the gritty epidemiologist?
Yeah.
Let's do him.
Okay. We're jumping in. The rain won't let up. I wonder if this is a thought.
It sounds like Osawa. It sounds like the kind of brooding thought he would have.
Alright. So if it's Osawa, it's you.
Yeah. What does he sound like? Gritty, right?
Yeah, I took very quick notes, and I think Osawa I wrote gruff ? So
okay,
maybe
that's the word that's what I meant. I meant gruff.
Alright, so go ahead.
The rain won't let up. No matter how much time passes, it just won't stop. Ever since that day, the sound of raindrops has been burned into my mind. Such an awful, heart-rending sound, driving me to strip my life down to shadows. Holy shit, that's emo. And yet, no matter what else I abandon, nothing will make the sound of the rain stop. It's going crazy over here.
Oh yeah, last we saw him, he was looking at pictures, right?
I don't remember that.
All right,
let me.
It's been a while. Let me look at the summary. All right, he receives a strange email. The message contains horrific evidence of human testing of an antiviral drug for the UA virus, and plans to blame on Osawa, the drug's chief developer. Why is he getting these emails just after his daughter Maria was kidnapped? Hiding from Detective Kajiwara and the other police assigned to the kidnapping case, he decides to seek out the truth with his good old buddy Tanaka. Okay.
The UWU virus?
The UWU virus. Osawa stared at a postcard that was nestled into the final page of the photo album. He'd purchased it 2 years earlier while on a trip with Maria to the Middle East. The Middle East, originally used to indicated Iran, Afghanistan, and the region surrounding them. Oh, Afghanistan isn't part of the Middle East?
It is, but it isn't. But it was, but now it isn't again.
I see.
Is kind of what they're saying. Although it has nothing if not a strong Islamic influence.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Although this game came out a while ago, so maybe I don't know. I have no idea. He'd mentioned that he was being sent there on business, and Maria had just blurted out, "I want to go with you." She'd recently developed an interest in the Middle East conflict, and apparently she had been yearning to see the area firsthand. Yeah, we know what's been going on there, right?
That is a very specific Middle East conflict that they're describing. There's a lot of conflicts in the Middle East. I mean, that the Palestine one is a pretty bad one, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a historian. There's a lot of messed up stuff going on in the Middle East. I hope that things get better over there.
Yeah. Well, that one's probably the first one people think of, right?
I guess.
His daughter's newfound curiosity had taken him aback. She had always tended to be quiet and self-contained. The clumsy conversations aboard the airplane, the meals eaten together in awkward silence, it all felt like such a distant memory to Osawa now. Oh, it's Kajiwara. So Kajiwara is my voice. Nasally is the word I wrote.
Ma'am, I'm afraid I can't let you do that.
He heard Kajiwara's voice outside the door.
Who is this?
I think this is
His
his
wife?
wife. I think, don't you voice his wife?
Yeah. You got any notes on her?
I don't. I don't have notes on her.
Why ever not? I'm just going out for a bit.
The detective was arguing with I. Great.
And just who was it who told me I should try to go about my life as normal?
Osawa's wife sneered. What should be the note that I write next to I? Should I write...
I don't know. She's like, she's like kind of bratty.
Bratty?
I feel like that word has become, that word has been ruined by popular culture, but you know what I mean.
Okay, I got it. That's what I wrote down.
Ma'am, please,
How do you feel about being told to just sit around and wait?
I's angry shriek jerked Osawa to his feet. He hurried from the study to try to calm her down.
Ma'am, please wait.
But by the time Osawa had made his way downstairs, his wife had already stormed outside, despite Kajiwara's attempts to stop her. Osawa doubted anything he could have said would have stopped I from leaving. Trying to physically keep her from going out would only have made for an even worse uproar. He was glad that at least it hadn't come to that. He was turning to head back to the study when Kajiwara caught his eye. So I guess that's why she was at the restaurant Lautrec in Minorikawa's storyline.
Because she left?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
She left here. Maybe she went to the restaurant Because that was her that Minotakawa was arguing with.
Yeah. She had the beepy thing.
Resigned, he headed down the stairs and bowed to the detective.
Any idea where she's going?
Kajiwara asked.
I mean, at a time like this.
Osawa shook his head.
I wouldn't know.
I didn't think so. You know, your wife really is something else.
Osawa arched an eyebrow. Arced? Arched. Arced.
Arched. That's one way to describe her. A rather rude way, as a matter of fact. Yeah, this guy has no social skills. I wonder how long till he offers us another banana.
Oh, no offense intended. It's just that, ever since this case started, you've both been holed up in your own respective rooms.
The more Kajiwara spoke, the more irritated Osawa became.
What's your point?
He demanded.
I just mean, you haven't been having any, marital discourse.
Ooh.
According to one survey, in roughly 6% of households, discourse between spouses is largely non-existent. Various reasons for this were offered by the couples in question. Many claimed that they were too tired to have the energy to talk, or stated, "We wind up fighting when we talk," or "We have nothing to talk about."
Mind your own business.
Osawa snapped. Kajiwara dipped his head deferentially.
The two of us talking isn't a new thing anyhow.
Osawa added.
I have a policy of not having pointless conversations.
It's quite common for Kenji Osawa to make it through an entire day without having a single conversation. On many days, he opens his mouth only to eat or brush his teeth. His current record is a streak of 14 consecutive days during which he didn't talk to anyone.
Pretty good.
Sounds pretty sweet.
Huh.
It didn't look as Kajiwara quite understood.
Microorganisms such as viruses don't have conversations, and yet they still continually propagate in order to survive. What a stupid thing to say.
Thinking about viruses, Osawa was back in familiar territory. He felt a surge of confidence.
Once you have a clear purpose, conversation is unnecessary.
And do you have a clear purpose for the relationship with your wife, Mr. Osawa?
Of course I do. To be a family.
Arms crossed, Kajiwara struck a thoughtful pose.
At least I've learned one useful thing today, Mr. Osawa. Namely, that you don't like to have pointless conversations.
It's a good thing to know.
Kajiwara uncrossed his arms for a moment, then crossed them right back again, furrowing his brow.
But, see, that's funny. You seem to have a tendency to have pointless conversations with me, and...
Because you keep coming to talk to me.
Osawa saw red.
You don't leave me much of a choice.
These pictures. Tanaka poked his head out of the living room. Oh. Who voiced Tanaka?
Oh. I don't know.
I don't remember. It was so long ago. Well, you can call it. Who do you want?
I can do it.
Okay.
Is something the matter?
Alright, I'm gonna write Tanaka under your name. What is your description or Should I write butlery? I don't know if that was butlery.
Sure.
Is something matter? I'll put a question mark. Okay.
No.
Osawa struggled to regain his calm.
Perfect timing, actually. There's something I need to talk to you about.
He turned back to Kajiwara.
My apologies, Detective, but would you mind giving us some privacy?
Kajiwara didn't move.
Detective?
Osawa gave the policeman a hard look and saw him crack a smile.
Yes? What is it?
Kajiwara said at last.
You play dumb with me. Give us some privacy.
Is this a discussion I shouldn't overhear?
Actually, yes, it's work-related. There are business matters I prefer to keep confidential.
Ah, I see.
Reluctantly getting to his feet, Kajiwara slipped away into the living room.
Aka,
Osawa began.
about those emails.
He stopped abruptly. Kajiwara had reappeared in the living room door, staring right at them.
What are you doing?
Osawa demanded.
Oh. Should I not be watching?
Osawa felt like he was about to burst a blood vessel.
I mean, you never told me that I couldn't watch.
Because it should be obvious.
The detective made a scolded puppy face, then closed the living room door. Osawa let out a heavy sigh. He'd never been an extrovert, but he didn't recall human interaction being quite this draining.
Anyway, sir,
Tanaka prompted.
you were saying? Yes, about those emails. Something doesn't make sense. I don't understand how Mr. Makino was able to get the antiviral agent to anyone on the outside.
Sharing an Akoshi Pharmaceuticals drug with external sources while it was still under development required the approval of an executive committee that included Osawa himself. There should have been no way the antiviral could be sent out without his knowledge. Tanaka hesitated a few moments before responding.
You aware of the strife between the company president and the chairman?
Osawa shook his head. He was a researcher through and through. Factional rivalries held no interest for him whatsoever.
Makino effectively leads the chairman's team, and the antiviral agent is their pet project. Despite being the executive officer in charge of the project, however, Makino still needs the president's approval to... You know what? Forget about that right now. What do we do about security?
In theory, it was physically impossible to get the antiviral out of the lab without detection. Entry to the biohazard laboratory where it was kept required fingerprint authentication from both Osawa and Tanaka. Fingerprint authentication, which is technology that uses fingerprints.
Yeah, I think it's what it sounds like, basically. Ooh. That's nice.
Cool. Thank you for showing us. Without the two of them there, nobody could even get into the storage facility. It sounds like it's protected. You've got the fingerprint stuff, you've got the security guards.
Got some nice guards, yeah.
Yeah. Tanaka followed his drift.
Ah, yes, I see what you mean.
He inclined his head in thought as Osawa continued. Ooh. What should we say?
I don't think we just ask Makino because I don't think he's reliable. He's already shown himself to be a bit of a weasel. So I guess let's check the entry logs. Option
Yeah.
A sounds a little paranoid.
Yeah. Let's check the entry logs.
Let's check the entry logs for the storage section.
Anyone who wanted to get inside had to present their ID card to the security guard on duty. It should be possible to check the computer logs to see if there had been any suspicious activity in the system. Tanaka shook his head.
I already checked the logs, sir. There was no evidence or anything suspicious. You're welcome to check for yourself, though, if you're that worried. No, I believe you.
Yet the fact was that the antiviral had been used for clinical testing. Either Makino had taken it from the laboratory personally, or someone working on his orders had done so. But how? Was there really some way they could have bypassed lab security without anyone else knowing? Osawa couldn't think how it would be possible. Oh.
This freaking guy!
The living room door opened with a soft creak. It was Kajiwara, and he looked stiff and pale.
Something terrible has happened,
He said. Visions of tragedy flooded Osawa's mind.
Oh, this is me?
Oh yeah, I think
Maria. Is she?
Kajiwara shook his head.
No, it's not that.
What is it then?
Osawa asked, his voice trembling.
Sir, I need you to stay calm.
Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat.
You see,
I dropped my banana.
the toilet's clogged.
Oh. Close.
Plunger in hand, Osawa stabbed vigorously at the recalcitrant toilet bowl, struggling to loosen the unseen blockage.
He's talking about poop.
Oh. A plunger. By pressing the cup over the opening of the drain that has been clogged, one can apply suction pressure to jostle the blockage free. It makes a variety of sounds when used, such as glub, glork, schluck, schlorp, schloop, and pop.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear those sounds now. Kajiwara was at his side, wiping up the floor with a rag.
How did this even happen?
The detective groaned.
You kidding? I was hoping you could tell me that.
The plunger sucked and schlorped at the porcelain basin. This was a first for Osawa. He'd never tried to unclog a toilet before in his life.
What?
Think of it as a blessing in disguise, Mr. Osawa.
Maybe he just, maybe his poops are just, like, very thin.
I guess so. What the hell are you talking about? What about this constitutes a blessing?
I just meant that at least this happened before you needed to, do your business.
Without the slightest hint of guile on his face, Kajiwara picked up his bucket and headed for the sink back in the washing area. Grumbling to himself, Osawa pumped the plunger over and over again. This was almost funny. I thought I was going to stop at fun. Almost ridiculous, in fact. His daughter had been kidnapped, and he was stuck unclogging a toilet. He was quite possibly caught up in a major corporate conspiracy, and here he was, unclogging a toilet. Tanaka poked his head into the bathroom.
Did you fix it yet? If you need to urinate, then use the restroom on the second floor. That's all right. Here's fine.
Tanaka stepped in beside him and abruptly shut the bathroom door. Now the two men were crammed together in the narrow lavatory.
Hey,
Osawa
what
hissed.
the hell are you doing?
Tanaka made eye contact with Osawa via the mirror. He spoke in a hushed voice.
I've been waiting for a moment I can get you alone. Ooh. I like it. What?
Tanaka sidled around to face him, giving him an intense stare.
Sir, could you please be quiet for a moment?
Tanaka had tears in the corners of his eyes.
This'll only take a moment.
Osawa could feel the warm breath of his deputy whispering against his cheek. Tanaka reached for something inside his coat. Ooh, we got 3 options. We tell him to knock it out. We can push him. We can close our eyes.
Let's close our eyes.
Okay.
All right, do as you wish.
Osawa closed his eyes.
Are you sure you're ready for this? I'm not sure. This is all happening pretty fast. To be honest, I'm rather nervous. I understand, sir. I mean, now that I think of it, we do spend day in and day out in that lab together. I suppose this was bound to happen sooner or later. Sir, could you please open your eyes? I'd like you to look at this. You'll have to forgive me. This is all a bit sudden. Please, sir. Take a look. No, I can't. It's just the two of us. It's probably going to shock you, I know, but please, just look. Is it really that shocking? Oh yes, very. Now please, open your eyes. Okay. No, I can't. Sir, trust me, this isn't easy for me either. All right.
Bracing himself, Osawa opened his eyes. Tanaka thrust out his cell phone.
Here, take a look at this. Huh?
Osawa blinked, bewildered, then refocused on the phone. He could never have anticipated what he saw on the LCD screen. Oh, it's a keep out. Do you think it was a picture of something shocking?
Yes. But how shocking could it be? Don't worry, sir. It's pretty shocking.
All right.
All right. So.
So keep out, right? He's at a keep out. He's probably still at a bad end. Yeah, he's still at a bad end. So we've got Kano and Achi. I don't remember how we fixed his bad end though. But I guess if we get stuck, I'll go back and look.
Alright, let's check in with Kano. We haven't heard from him in quite a while.
Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna open up the summary for him also. Alright, they're following... Yeah, they keep following, the different... Excuse me. The different bad guys. And, he has to deal with his father-in-law also. That's basically it. Yeah, that's basically it. Alright. Kano had been watching syndicate members hand off the attaché case for an hour and a half. He still had no idea where this relay might be headed. The man he was tailing now was about 10 meters away, close enough that Kano could close the distance and apprehend him at a moment's notice. But his orders remained the same: follow and observe. He watched as the case was handed off once more. By now, the shock of seeing it pass to yet another accomplice had worn off.
Do you remember what Kano sounds like? Got any notes on Kano?
I put whiny, but I'm not sure. This might be his partner, right?
Oh, the cosplay detective?
Yeah, the cosplay guy.
It's already been 10 minutes, huh?
90 minute.
90 minutes, huh?
It was Sasayama. At some point, he'd crept up on Kano from behind. For Kano, I have whiny,
They don't seem like they're trying to get away at all.
Kano said.
They're just walking.
I wonder if that's... Was it that whiny? Maybe it was.
I don't know.
He's just like some rookie bumbly detective.
What could they be up to?
Sasayama shrugged.
Yeah, it's weird.
Kano recalled dictum number 89. Dictum. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. If Tateno's wisdom held true, the Syndicate must have some reason for what it was doing. Were they just trying to throw the investigators off their scent? No, that couldn't be it. They were wandering in circles, staying right in the same area. They were just running up the clock. What if that's exactly what they were after? Buying time. Kano felt a sudden conviction that he was on the right track. If they needed more time to make sure they got their hands on the ransom payment...
Wait, hold on.
Could it be that... Oh, we got options.
The money is not even in the case anymore.
B?
Yeah.
Could it be that the ransom money wasn't even in the case anymore?
I've got it.
Sasayama perked up.
You got what? Each time these crooks hands off the case, they sneak out a bundle of 1,000,000 yen. They keep doing that, and eventually the case itself is empty. That doesn't sound particularly likely. But Sasayama likes it. Of course. That's how they've been playing us.
Kano and Sasayama exchanged a look.
How many people would need to make the switch for them to get all the money?
Sasayama asked.
50 million yen divided by 1 million. That makes 5 people. That's it then. No, wait. 50 people. That many? That can't be the deal then.
Sasayama said.
Guess not.
They both sighed in unison. The man with the attaché case made his way back to Shibuya Station.
The heck?
Sasayama grumbled.
He's right back where we started.
Kano felt his frustration growing. It honestly looked like the syndicate was just randomly lugging the case around town. Near Shibuya Station, a girl approached the suspect. She was Japanese, and entirely unlike any of the other criminal accomplices. She spoke to the man while showing him something on a notepad. He glanced at the pad, but did not slow down. Within moments, he had left her behind. It looked like she'd just passed him a message.
Well, that's sure fishy.
Sasayama muttered.
What, the girl?
Asked Kano.
Yeah. Wanna go hit her up?
Sasayama could only mean one thing: questioning her. Alright, what did you want to do?
Yeah, let's go see what she knows. Yeah, let's go see what she knows.
Sasayama and Kano hurried over to the girl.
Excuse me, miss. We'd like to ask you a few...
I believe this is me. Are you happy with your life? The young woman shouted. She thrust her notepad in Kano's face. Tell me this. Are you happy with your life right now?
Huh?
Looking at the notepad, Kano saw the same question written there in big, bold letters.
Is this the bad freelance reporter?
The girl's eyes widened in surprise, as if she hadn't expected the two men to actually stop and listen. Right now, sir, she continued more quietly, Are you happy? If so, if you could please take this survey about, about your life? Are you happy with it? The more she spoke, the more flustered she became. Sasayama stepped in.
Hey, I need to know. Did you speak with that Western fellow just now?
Huh? No, that isn't what I'm asking. Sir, are you happy with your life right now? Are you happy with your life right now?
Kano got a sinking feeling in his stomach. This kid was looking for religious converts or something.
You did speak with him, didn't you?
Sasayama snapped.
What did you tell him?
The girl's rambling abruptly ceased. Her already ruddy face went even redder, and tears welled up in her eyes.
Poor kid.
Kano thought.
She's just out here trying to get people to listen to her survey questions. There's no way she's part of this kidnapping plot. Look, miss,
He said.
for the time being, it would be a good idea for you to leave the area. Afraid I'm not at liberty to explain.
The girl's only response was to start sobbing outright.
I can't do this anymore. I want to go home.
Kano and Sasayama exchanged awkward glances.
I want to go home. I want to go home.
Passers-by began shooting curious looks at the trio.
Kano, you get back to work.
Sasayama said.
I'll escort this girl to the train station.
He didn't quite manage to stifle the embarrassment in his voice.
Right.
Kano said. He hurried away, his eyes already searching for the suspect they'd been trailing. Yeah, that was probably the reporter girl.
Yaki, is that her name?
Yeah. So I think if we chose a different option, that would open up Minorikawa's bad end. I assume. But we'll write it out. It didn't take long to find him. The man's black garb made him stand out in the crowd at the intersection. It occurred to Kano that all of the criminals who'd handled the attaché case had been wearing the same black clothing. That fact made the whole situation even weirder. Could they really be ignorant that they were being followed while they were all wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It was more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. That still didn't provide any clues as to what they were after, though. The longer Kano kept tailing these guys, the less it all made sense. Was it really such a good idea to keep this up? Someone's life was in danger, and they were just letting the kidnappers carry out their plan, whatever it was. The very first page of the Dick Diary spelled things loud and clear on that front. Dick Dictum number 1. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Right now, the single most important thing was ensuring the hostage's safety. This was a situation where Tateno would have stuck to his guns for sure. Kano thought back to that day 3 years ago. A burglar had shut himself inside a financial office and doused the place in gasoline. Kano had just been put on police box duty and was ordered to the scene because his box was just down the street from the standoff. Police box duty. You sit in a box? A very small type of neighborhood station manned by only a handful of officers. Several officers had surrounded the building, keeping close tabs on the situation. The suspect was shouting nonsense through the entrance on the first floor. Things were getting heated. A crowd of alarmed onlookers had started to form as well. Ooh, who is this voice?
I'll do the voice. I mean, is this Tateno, right?
I assume so.
Step aside.
I'm gonna write hero.
Okay, I like
Heroic. Based on that one line. A voice said suddenly from amidst the throng. A middle-aged man in a rumpled business suit had approached Kano as he hovered nervously at the edge of the scene.
I'm sorry, sir.
Kano said.
You have to stay back for your own safety.
He attempted to usher the man back into the crowd. A no-nonsense look crossed the newcomer's face. He spoke in a low voice.
I'm Detective Tateno from the Shibuya precinct. What's the situation?
Oh, sir, I'm so sorry. Yes, of course.
Kano stammered, then quickly explained.
He hasn't taken anyone hostage, but there are still people on the upper floors of the building.
Giving only a slight nod, Tateno marched straight up to the building. The plastic container of gasoline the suspect had used was on the ground out front. Tateno picked it up and dumped the remaining contents out over his head. Kano was at a loss for words. He couldn't believe what he was seeing.
I have covered myself in gasoline too.
Tateno called out from the entryway. The tension in the air ratcheted itself up several notches.
Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Oh, that was a burglar.
Oh, I
Uh,
thought so. But then, I don't know. You want to be the burglar?
Alright, I'll be the burglar. I feel like he won't show up again, but I'll write burglar down.
Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Kano heard the burglar shouting from inside.
If you're gonna do it, do it.
Tateno called out,
We can die together.
and he walked into the building. All Kano could do was watch things unfold through the plate glass window. Tateno was talking to the burglar, but Kano couldn't make out the words. The crook was clutching a lighter, his hand trembling. His expression was like that of a frightened child. Tateno slowly approached him and took firm hold of his shaking hand. The onlookers erupted into cheers and applause. Tateno handed the now docile suspect over to the detectives, then wearily sat down against the planter out front. It was like something ripped straight out of a police drama.
That was amazing.
Kano breathed.
You have to deal with guys like that as quickly as you can. You let a situation like this get even a little out of hand, and you never know how things might go south on you.
Tateno spoke quietly, almost as if he were talking to himself. As the police evacuated the rest of the building, Kano noticed that there were children and elderly people among them. If the perp had managed to set the fire, there was no way they would have escaped in time.
But, I mean, what if you'd actually set the place on fire?
If someone's willing to risk their life, you're not going to convince them of anything unless you do the same.
Kano still remembered the awe he'd felt at Tateno's matter-of-fact tone. Kano hadn't become a police officer out of any real sense of duty. He just thought it would make Rumi happy if he became a detective like her father. Besides, civil servants tended to stay afloat in times of recession, and his time playing rugby meant he was in good physical shape for the job. He'd never really thought too much about protecting the citizenry or keeping the peace. But now here he was in the presence of a detective who'd literally risked his life in the line of duty without a second thought. I think this is
Police
Tateno.
officer.
Oh, go ahead.
This is Tateno, right?
I think so, yeah.
The police officer never loses sight of what he's supposed to protect. Ever.
Getting back to his feet, Tateno tugged off his gasoline-drenched coat and walked away. Kano wrote the words in a notebook he'd just purchased. Thus, the Dick Diary was born. We got a Dick Diary origin story.
Nice.
Thinking back to the way Tateno had put his life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers made Kano feel all the more raw about just tailing these syndicate members. Letting the crooks just wander around wasn't going to bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Ooh. Who is this?
I don't know.
Who would you like it to be?
I can do this.
Okay.
Shoot, it's bleeding pretty bad.
He heard someone say behind him. Ooh. He turned and saw two young men carrying another along. There was a towel wrapped tightly around the third's head.
Hey, what happened?
Kano asked.
Shut your mouth.
Kano blanched. Oh.
Yeah, I guess you could be this other guy.
I think no, isn't this Sasayama?
This is the same guy? Oh. Okay.
Key in the attitude. He's trying to help.
Another voice cut in. It was Sasayama. Had he finished dealing with the girl by the station then?
What happened to your friend?
Out of my way, man. I ain't afraid to kick your ass. Look, cut the crap and let me take a quick look.
Sasayama unwrapped the towel from around the young man's head.
Oh, that's nasty.
The young guy was a little more than a kid. His head was soaked red with blood. He appeared to be unconscious. Oh. Take him to a hospital or call juvenile affairs?
Let's let juvenile affairs handle this. We don't have time for this kid.
Alright. They couldn't just leave him like this, but they were in the middle of a job. They should probably call juvenile affairs, which is, they deal with minors that, yep, Oh wait, what is this last part? Although one detective in particular has been using this as an excuse to go on patrol at arcades, ignoring his duties in order to fuel his video game addiction. Who could this be? Do you think it's Sasayama?
No, I don't think Sasayama has a video game addiction. Do you know something I don't?
No, I don't. I was just trying to think of... We only know of 3 detectives, right? Kano, Sasayama, and Kajiwara. Could it be
I feel like it.
I don't think
it's
Kano...
Kajiwara, if it's any one of them.
It's probably Kajiwara. I thought he was addicted to bananas.
You could be addicted to 2 things.
That's true. Kano took out his cell phone so he could call the precinct, but Sasayama stopped him and showed the 2 youngsters his badge.
Oh crap, you a cop?
Sasayama nodded.
Who you kids with? The Bamfs?
The Bamfs. Shibuya's number 2 gang. Its leader, Sohei Kari, has gathered up some big mean dudes in an attempt to make Shibuya his turf. So they're less organized, but tougher. Word is that the rise of the Bamfs is one of the reasons SOS has been growing more combative recently.
SOS?
SOS.
Admitted one of the young men after some hesitation.
Who attacked you?
Yo, what ain't like that?
What is it like then? Infighting?
The young man was silent. Sasayama must have been right on the mark. In the course of his police duties, Kano picked up a fair amount of street gossip from the young people in Shibuya. Lately, the scuttlebutt about the legendary SOS gang was that they were dealing with some internal strife.
Look, don't worry about it. I get it. There's a hospital just down that way. Oh wait, no, is this Sasayama?
Yeah, I think that's Sasayama.
Okay.
Look, don't worry about it. I get it. There's a hospital just down that way. Hurry up and get him there.
But it would be funny if, like, just for, like, suddenly being nice to some kids, he switches his voice to being less gruff. The young man batted off Sasayama's offered hand, then quickly hauled his friend away. Ooh, I gotta write down this. This kid doesn't have a name, does he?
Not yet.
I'll just put SOS Kid. SOS Kid.
Sounds like SOS is on the verge of breaking up with all this infighting, huh?
Kano asked. He kept his eyes on the young men as they headed off.
Yeah, seems like it's been pretty rough. You know, what with the original leader leaving and all.
The detectives in juvenile affairs...
Excuse me.
Did you
Sorry,
get
all
some
these
water?
gruff voices. These gruff voices are just wreaking havoc on my vocal cords. I don't know if water's really gonna help.
Oh. Well, the detectives in juvenile affairs were well acquainted with SOS's original leader, who is Achi Endo.
Hey, my boy.
We've heard this story about them being a group of like-minded young people.
Yeah.
The stories were like something out of some after-school special. There were tales of them taking down gangs who sold drugs to kids, or breaking into Yakuza front offices to save their friends. The detectives with juvenile affairs took these stories with a grain of salt, but if there really were young people like that out there, Kano hoped to meet them someday. The detectives had to hurry to catch up with the man they were tailing. He was still strolling along, seemingly in no particular hurry. They kept him in sight as he crossed another pedestrian overpass and circled back around.
Still following the same MO, huh?
Sasayama grumbled.
Guess so.
Kano said.
How'd things go with the girl?
He was careful not to take his eyes off the mark as they talked.
I managed to calm her down and get her on a train. She was going on about how she wanted to go someplace far, far away. But whatever. It's all good now.
I feel kind of bad about the whole thing.
Kano said.
Well, she's not pertinent to the case anyhow. Guess it's back to dog and this guy.
Sasayama coughed, nodding toward the suspect, looking none too pleased.
Oh, Sasayama? I'm thinking the attaché case is going to get handed off again at any moment now.
Huh?
Sasayama peered at the mark, who was scanning the plaza he'd just entered, apparently looking for someone.
I take one side, you take the other?
Kano suggested. Sasayama's eyes went wide.
Say what now?
That way we apprehend both perps involved with the handoff.
Sasayama didn't reply.
Look, HQ isn't thinking about the hostage's safety,
Kano said.
but that needs to take priority here.
Sasayama's face took on a rare solemnity.
Disobeying a direct order is not something to do lightly.
A detective's behavior is governed by the Local Public Service Act. Article 32 states that a detective is to faithfully follow the orders of his superior in the course of his duties. Violating this is punishable by a warning, reduction in pay, suspension from duty, or dismissal. In the event of a warning, not only is the individual expected to submit a formal letter of apology, but pay raises may be delayed or performance bonuses cut. Then after a moment he added,
But I'm on board. I'm sick of all this wandering around anyway.
That's the Sasayama I know.
Kano replied with a chuckle. Sasayama gave him a silent thumbs up. The two detectives took up position on opposite sides of the plaza. Kano called up Sasayama on his cell phone.
You ready?
He asked.
Just give the word.
There were only two non-Japanese people in the nearby crowd. Both were eyeing their surroundings anxiously. Kano was certain the handoff was about to take place. And then,
Well, well, well. It isn't Mr. Toyama.
Kano's ears perked up at the sound of an aggressive greeting, the voice dripping with feigned cheer. Oh. He whirled around to see two rough-looking young men confronting a father and his daughter. The older man looked pained. I think you voiced Toyama.
Yeah,
He
Do
also
we got
had,
any notes on Toyama?
I don't, but I think
He's
he was
also
also kind of
whiny.
whiny, yeah.
Please, just hold on.
He said placatingly.
I thought we agreed on 4 o'clock.
The young man snarled. These two, I think I voiced one and you voiced the other, but I don't remember which one I voiced.
Okay. I don't know, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so you don't have to, like, be all gruff. Don't you try and play dumb with us, buddy.
It's nothing like that, I swear. My girl was just hungry, so I just stepped out to...
Yeah? How come you didn't just order delivery, huh?
Ah, yes, right. I suppose that would work too. Ah, ha ha ha.
Don't you ha me, man. Kana watched the argument uneasily. The stranger's altercation put him in a bit of a spot. Let me make note. Younger Yakuza guy. Okay. The crook he was tailing probably wouldn't risk handing off the case with an uproar like this going on.
What's going on over there?
Sasayama asked.
I'm not sure.
Kana replied.
Looks like some kind of argument.
The suspects are gonna get wary on us. It's gonna screw up the whole handoff.
Yeah, I know.
So do something about it and get over here.
Sasayama said.
What?
Find some way to shut them up and then get over here.
Oh, sure, alright.
Kano headed toward the argument. He was only halfway there when Sasayama called again. He sounded panicked.
Hey, Kano. He made a run for it.
Huh? Oh, crap.
The man they'd been tailing had vanished in the brief time Kano had taken his eyes off of him.
Wait up!
Kano shouted. Sasayama was racing after the suspect and Kano rushed to join him. The man was surprisingly quick, however, and neither detective managed to catch up. In fact, they soon lost sight of him amidst the teeming crowds. Frantically, they dashed through the streets as fast and as hard as they could.
We lost him.
Sasayama admitted at last.
Damn it.
He stamped his foot on the asphalt in disgust.
Director Kuze?
Kano gasped over the wireless.
I'm sorry, but we lost the man with the attaché case.
There was a heavy sigh on the other end of the line. Kano braced himself. He wasn't going to be able to weasel out of this one with just an "I'll do better next time." Alright, I think I'm Kuze. Yeah, I have Kuze
Yeah.
written down. I don't have a note next to him, though. Sasayama, Kano, get your asses back to the precinct. Kuze out. With that, Kuze switched off the line.
Back to the precinct.
Kano knew full well what that meant. They were off the case. There was a gnawing in his gut. If those two punks hadn't shown up... No, if that father and his daughter hadn't turned up, he might have been able to apprehend the suspect.
Oh, don't let it get you down.
Sasayama said.
I mean, paper pushing can be kind of fun.
The look on his face, however, suggested he didn't think it was fun at all. Not one bit. With the air of two men heading to an execution, Kano and Sasayama trudged back toward the Shibuya precinct. bad end. Kano was taken off the case because he lost track of the suspect thanks to a random altercation nearby. And his glum conclusion was correct. If that father-daughter duo hadn't shown up, this wouldn't have happened. A certain someone needs to give those two some better advice, and a certain other someone needs to meet up with them outside his or her house. Both of those are key to changing poor Kano's fate.
I don't think I can do any more for now.
Yeah. We got the gruff voices out of the way though, right? For now.
I hope so.
So there's still
Maybe
we're at a bad end.
Maybe
so
we'll conveniently forget next week how gruff they were. They'll come back with more cheerful voices.
So Achi is open. We could go fix this decision about where's the decision go? With approaching that girl. Maybe it's this one. So Minorikawa isn't at a bad end. Should we fix that now or do that next time?
Let's start with that next time.
All right. Cool. So, what do you think so far? Any thoughts, theories? I just feel like I should ask this every time.
I don't know. I think there's something fishy going on with these briefcases. As I've stated in the past, I think that some of these storylines, I'm beginning to suspect they may be connected in some way. Call me crazy, but I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat and say that there's some sort of connection between what's going on with the virus and the ransom and the cops and all that stuff. But that's about all I could say for sure.
Let's see. And then there's just a burning hammer just like there. Maybe no. Burning hammer can't be the virus, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah, that's this week's episode. You know what?
Let's say chicken butt.
No, I'm not gonna say it. Next week, I think we're gonna do hiatus. Like
Okay.
and another episode probably won't come out next week because it's Christmas is coming, and then it's like New Year's.
Yeah, these people, they need to be with their families. They can't be doing this Shibuya Scramble. You got to go home and spend some time with your family, people.
Yeah. We also need to catch up on recording episodes again. Cause we're cutting it kind of close. But spending time with family is pretty nice. All right, is there anything you wanted to add or say or anything?
No, I think we're yeah, I think it's good.
All right. I guess for the sign off, something about I don't know.
Maybe a dick dictum?
A dick dictum? Yeah.
Dick dictum number 3. Always crumple, never fold.
Yes. Always crumple, never fold. What if you fold, but then crumple the fold? Does that count as crumpling, or does it count as folding?
I would consider that a crumple.
Alright.
Whichever you do last is like the dominant action. So for whatever reason you were to crumple and then fold, I would consider that a fold.
And then people who fold their crumples are actually folders.
Yes.
I see.
That's what I just said.
Oh. Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, that's the episode. We will catch you guys on the next time. Most likely not next week. But yeah.
Alright, see you folks.
Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. Okay. And stop recording. Bye.